You can access the entire episode now on our website, forbiddenknowledge.news, Rokfin, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. Something that I've seen that goes hand in hand with what you're just talking about is also paying attention to what the universe is telling you, and synchronicities and messages and people that come into your lives and feelings that you get, just paying attention to what your surroundings and how your environment is reacting to your energy and what you're doing, because it sends you messages, it sends you synchronicities, and those will lead you to the next level of your journey, right?
Absolutely. When we pay attention to those synchronicities, because everything is connected, everything. So when we understand those connections and how things line up, those synchronicities become more meaningful and even identify a path to stay on or a path to avoid. Because it's a mix, what they call the yin and yang, equal and opposite opposing forces of nature. There are both aspects of that, and it's identified in a number of different cultures, obviously in religion. And so we have evil and we have good. Now, how we participate and how we avoid the wrong things and express the correct things is a matter of our education, our experience, and how we unfold what we do based on what we do with education, with experience. It's addressing all of those things and knowing. You have to know. It's not a believing system. You have to know. Like I know water is wet and fire is hot. I know. And so when you know something and you think in those terms of that knowing, you could identify that which is going to distract you and that which is going to support you. So life is just always a mix of all of that. And it's how we pursue our life that helps us get what we want.
I've had people on that use different magic modalities and interpret how to do so in different ways. And from what I understand, as long as you have a basic understanding of what you're trying to do, you can always make the magic your own. But there's also different levels of what you could be interacting with, as far as if you are using magic from your own source or you're relying on spirits outside of yourself to help you achieve a certain goal. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Now, I want to introduce an aspect of magic that I like. We're physical beings. Material world is part of our life. It's all of our life. So there are tools of magic that assist us in allowing things to occur and to understand things, okay? Now, we all heard of all the magical tools. There are tarot cards, there are runes, there are athames, there are all the different tools that we could that assist us in working with the material world. I like tools. I have, as a matter of fact, I have an outfit that is a shamanic wizard outfit. And as an example, my cone hat is very sacred geometry design. Okay? It's in the phi ratio from your chin to your third eye. We'll call that 1. The hat goes up 1.618 and so forth in the phi ratio. Now, that cone hat has been around for a long time. We've seen pictures of wizards and shamans, and all the mystics had a cone hat of some kind. So what happens is when you put that cone hat on your head, that mystical dimensions of the phi ratio allow for your thoughts and ideas which gather above your crown chakra. when you have ideas and thoughts around your crown chakra, easily we have distractions and disruptions, and it kind of dissipates. The cone hat, because of its sacred geometry and that information that gathers here, I have a crystal that sits in my cone hat about 6 inches above my crown chakra. Okay, and crystals hold energy. We know that. So that energy that is sitting in there and gathered up there allows us to keep our focus and our attention gathered for the task at hand. So that's been around for a long time, hundreds of years we've seen. And so that process of putting that and understanding, when children, let's go back 100 years, children were in a classroom and were easily disrupted and distracted, they would put a cone hat on them because that allowed that focus to forward and come in so that they can pay attention to class. Well, it became derogatory and used the dunce cap and discontinued. So that's one of the things you'll see in shamans and mystics when they have the cone hat and so forth. So that's one of the tools we have. Crystals, we know they hold energy. You've heard of organite, and organite is a polyester resin that's mixed with crystals and metals because they each have a vibration, and all of those frequencies and vibration have a representation in our lives. So when you get the polyester resin and you put the crystals and the metals in it, except for aluminum, which is not a very good metal, it's man-made with a bunch of other toxic stuff. But anyway, the crystals and the metals like gold, silver, etc., when you put the polyester resin, when you mix it into polyester resin, the polyester resin shrinks and puts pressure on the crystals and the gemstones, and the piezoelectric effect comes out. So it enhances the psychic and metaphysical advantages of that. And that's how organite works. It's a tool that we can use and work with. I also, one of my hobbies is I tumble and I've cut and polished gemstones, and I teach classes on metaphysical properties and spiritual properties of gemstones, because everything has a vibration. When we know and understand that vibration and how it interacts with us, we can use it to our advantage. Now, there's lots of interpretations of different stones because different people experience different things. But there's a consensus around certain crystals that have healing energies, energies that allow us to go into the spirit realm, or remote view, or out of body. But there's a number of different frequencies that are associated with crystals. So you can look up charts, and there's books and beautiful pictures of gemstones, and I have hundreds of pounds. I continue to, one of my hobbies, like I said, is with gemstones, and I have a tumbler going, and I've been tumbling gemstones since I was like 8 or 9 years old. But there's a number of metaphysical tools that we can identify with and relate to and use for our advantages in the spirit realm, in the metaphysical realm. So again, tools that we relate to assist us in focus and expressing our psychic abilities.
How important would you say that belief and good intention is when it comes to the outcome of your desired manifestation?
I don't like the word belief. It's like believing in the tooth fairy or the Easter bunny, etc.